Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling something that, let's be honest, almost always gets pushed to the back burner. I'm talking about commercial drain cleaning. You know how it goes, right? We rarely think about our plumbing until there's an absolute disaster, a major backup, awful odors, or that wildly expensive emergency plumber call at 2 a.m. Well, today we're going to flip the script. We'll explore how shifting from reactive panic to a proactive maintenance plan can actually drastically reduce your downtime and save you a ton of money. So think about it for just a second. When did your property last clean its drains? Like, really clean them? Was it a scheduled, routine service, or was it because something went terribly wrong? The stakes of just waiting around for an emergency are surprisingly high. Every single day of delay, you're basically rolling the dice on severe water damage and totally disrupting your day-to-day business operations. Okay, let's dive right into how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the actual cost of waiting and then set up a baseline schedule. After that, we'll assess your specific risk level, break down schedules by industry, highlight the major warning signs, and finally, look at some smart tenant practices. Starting off with Section 1, the cost of waiting. Let's look at the severe financial and operational pain points of putting things off. There is a massive stark contrast between these two operational styles. A scheduled, professional approach that's calm, it's predictable, it involves routine camera inspections, stable conditions, and proactive planning where you completely control the timeline. But the emergency reactive approach, that is pure chaos. We're talking frantic plunging, massive potential water damage, and literally shutting down operations. And the real kicker here isn't just the emergency plumbing fees, it's the lost revenue from that downtime. Moving right along to Section 2, the baseline schedule. Let's figure out how to actually achieve that predictability. So the magic number, or really the magic range, is 6 to 18. Generally speaking, commercial properties should schedule professional drain cleaning every 6 to 18 months. Now, keep in mind, this is absolutely crucial. This is just your starting anchor. It is not a rigid one-size-fits-all rule. If you're building a maintenance plan from scratch today, definitely budget for a cleaning within this 6 to 18-month window. But as we're about to see, you'll probably need to narrow that window based on what exactly is flowing through your specific system. Which brings us to Section 3, assessing your risk level. Because let's face it, not all pipes are created equal. Different sites foul up their drains at completely different rates. Naturally, higher risk facilities are going to need much shorter intervals. So what are the variables? Well, the type of occupants matters immensely. Think about it. A heavy manufacturing plant is going to stress plumbing way differently than a quiet accounting office. You also have to factor in peak volume events, exactly what kind of debris is entering the system, stuff like heavy grease, hair, or solid waste, along with external factors like invasive tree roots and the overall age and condition of the piping itself. Let's transition to Section 4, schedules by industry type, and get into some concrete timelines. This is probably one of the most critical things for any facility manager to grasp. Your specific industry heavily dictates your maintenance frequency. For example, if you run a standard office building or light retail, the wastewater is mostly clean, which keeps you safely in that standard 12 to 18-month range. But mixed-use retail, that needs tighter check-ins, usually around 9 to 12 months. Now, when you get into restaurants dealing with fast-accumulating fats, oils, and grease, or gyms dealing with huge loads of hair and lint, you are looking at cleanings every 3 to 9 months. Heavy industrial sites might even need it quarterly. The difference in operational need across these industries is literally night and day. Up next is Section 5, warning signs and inspections. Because what happens when things start going wrong before your next scheduled cleaning? Even with a fantastic schedule, your building is going to give you physical and, unfortunately, olfactory cues when a cleaning absolutely cannot wait. Pay really close attention to slow drains across multiple fixtures, or that recurring weird gurgling sound. If you're getting backups right after normal operations or strong, persistent odors that just won't go away, those are massive red flags. If your maintenance team is constantly being called in with a plunger, your schedule is way too loose. So how do you know for sure what's happening down there without just guessing? You use a camera inspection. This is really the most reliable approach in commercial plumbing, pairing your scheduled cleaning with these periodic visual assessments. It's exactly what it sounds like. A pro sends a camera down the line to actually quantify the buildup. It catches early blockages before they turn into full-blown emergencies and detects structural nightmares like cracks, offset joints, or root intrusions. If the camera shows rapid buildup, boom, you know you need to shorten your cleaning window. But on the flip side, and this is the really great part, if the camera shows your pipes are consistently clear, you can actually justify stretching out your cleaning intervals. You save your property money without adding any extra risk. Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 6, smart tenant practices. This is all about extending the life of your drains. Because ultimately, maintenance isn't just about what your plumber does, it's about what your building's occupants do. Your cleaning frequency improves dramatically when tenant behavior actually changes. Operationally, this means rigorously enforcing grease interceptor maintenance in your food service areas and training staff on correct waste disposal so the drain doesn't just become a wet trash can. In places like gyms or salons, installing hair and lint capture devices, that's totally non-negotiable. And here's a fantastic management pro tip. Track your drain-related work orders by area. If one specific tenant is causing all the backups, you can sit down and address it directly with hard data. So, to bring this all together, the core philosophy of this entire explainer is simple. Stay proactive instead of reactive. By establishing a solid baseline schedule, assessing your unique risks, utilizing camera inspections, and getting your tenants on board, you completely change the dynamic. You prevent those chaotic, incredibly expensive, middle-of-the-night emergencies, and you replace them with smooth, predictable, and budgeted maintenance. I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought to take back to your facility today. Are you currently operating a high-risk restaurant or maybe a high-volume gym on a low-risk office building schedule? Take a hard look at your exact property type. Listen to what your drains are telling you and adjust your cadence before your plumbing ends up making that decision for you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and here's to keeping things flowing smoothly.